Education is quickly changing in the United States. It's hard for parents to keep up with what their children are learning in school, and it's even harder to understand the national trends in education and where they're taking our children and our country. I hope that today is the day that we will resolve to take ownership over the education of our children. So let's start by trying to understand what's happening in our public schools. Hello, my name is Jane Robbins, and I'm with the American Principals Project. I have a disturbing story to tell, a story about the Common Core state standards, how they were foisted on the states by the federal government and by well-funded private interests in Washington. We need to realize that the Common Core will strip our states of their constitutional authority over education. Parents will no longer be able to control or even influence what their children are taught. The Common Core scheme will ultimately empower the federal government to control school curricula in violation of 3 federal statutes. Parents need to know how Common Core standards will ultimately narrow the curriculum and prepare our children to be cogs in a national industrial system rather than full citizens in a free republic. Taxpayers need to know how the Common Core leads to national testing that will impose substantial costs on state and local school budgets. Parents need to know how the massive student data tracking system will contribute to the loss of student and family privacy. Citizens need to understand how this new educational direction will gradually guide the next generation away from our free enterprise system and into a managed economy. All this is supposedly the price we have to pay to ensure that our children are better prepared to compete in the global economy. Join me as I explain what is a very real threat to the United States education system.
Jane, I don't know too much about the Common Core. Could you just start by defining what we are talking about exactly?
The Common Core State Standards Initiative is currently a set of national common K-12 content standards in English language arts and math, ideally to be adopted in all 50 states so that education will be standardized throughout the country. The supposed purpose of the Common Core is to impose rigorous standards so that our students will be better prepared for competing in the global economy and to allow comparison of student performance among states. Common Core standards have currently been adopted by 45 states and the District of Columbia.
So what's the problem with nationally standardized content standards? I heard that the states work together to create these standards.
Common Core proponents claim that Common Core was led by the states, but this simply isn't true. The real drivers of the Common Core were the same advocates of a national school curriculum who have been around for years in various guises. They tried and failed to impose a national curriculum in the past. For example, with the national history standards in the 1990s, which were so politically correct and anti-American that they were rejected by the U.S. Senate 99-1. The national curriculum advocates learned 3 things from past failures. First, don't call the curriculum standards national or federal. Second, impose them quickly and quietly before the people and their representatives find out about it. And 3, don't start with a controversial subject such as history. Start instead with math and English.